Alrighty, folks. Let's go ahead and get this started. Oh my gosh. Alright, cool. There we go. Alrighty. What is going on, everybody? This is Justin Martinez, aka Jada Sports Dude, coming to y'all live from my apartment. Hopefully, you all are staying at your homes as well, practicing social distancing and staying safe during this pandemic, and I'm here to provide y'all with a little bit of extra entertainment. That's right, folks. It is time for New Mexico State versus Cal Baptist, the regular season finale from New Mexico State's season last year, and it's a part of our over month-long journey to go back and watch as many of these games from that 2019-2020 campaign as we can, with the exception of a few that we had some copyright claim issues. But we're not going to talk about that. That was a long time ago, and now we are here on the home stretch. History on the line for the Aggies as they hope to improve to 16-0 in WAC play and become the first team to ever do that in men's basketball. Now, this is definitely an exciting game to me. I've been saying it. This is my most exciting game that I covered from last season because the atmosphere was electric, as you would imagine, with that perfect record on the line. And I'm looking forward to getting into it. But before we do that, guys, you already know the drill by now. I need to go through and make sure that the title is updated because it's not right now, and then make sure that I'm in frame. So that's what I'm doing on my phone right now. But hopefully everybody's doing well, having a good day so far. My day has been pretty good, no complaints. It's been good so far. Haven't had a whole lot going on work-wise. I did a little bit of editing because I didn't get to finish the straight shooter editing process for the Shawn Buchanan interview last night, so I did that today, but that's all wrapped up. I'll get into that a little bit more after I upload this or update this. Versus Cal Baptiste. Let's see, am I in frame? It looks like I am. Cool, let's go ahead and get this one started then, folks. This video is an hour and 40 minutes long, which lets me know that they did not edit any of this out. So we're just gonna skip to tip-off time here. Actually, we'll go to right here. We'll go to right here because this is pretty cool. The Aggies, since it is senior night, they rolled out in an all-senior lineup, as you will see right here. The starting five: Shawn Buchanan, who's normally coming off the bench; Terrell Brown, also coming off the bench; Bobby coming off the bench; Audikoechea, and Queen. So giving a start to some of these guys who normally are in the second unit. Pretty cool. Pretty cool to see that. And they came out and balled out, as you guys will see right now. So it wasn't just for show. These guys definitely came out and produced early on for the Aggies. Stephen M., final show, he says. Yes, sir. The last one of this Aggie Rewind series. Appreciate you for tuning in. Appreciate everybody who's been following this so far. As you see, Cal Baptist starting five. I believe I'm covering the name of one person, but that's the one you guys already know. Milan Aqua, the star for the Lancers; Brandon Boyd, Farron Flavors Jr., Zach Parag, and Dejon Davis in the mix. Stephen M., is it 11 a.m. Wednesday? Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so I just finished editing that video. I didn't end up doing it last night, so I actually just finished it maybe like 20 minutes ago. So it's actually a little bit over 20 minutes. I thought it was going to be a little bit under, but it's about 20 and maybe 30 seconds, something like that, 20 and change. Really good interview. We didn't have any problems with the audio, nothing significant. There's always the problem where if I talk at the same time as the other person, it gets a little bit jumbled. So there's no way of fixing that, but that only happened a couple times. Other than that, the audio is good. It's a great interview with Shawn. I'm looking forward to you guys seeing that on Wednesday. And I did just confirm an interview date with the person for the following week, and I don't know if I should tell y'all right now or let y'all find out on Wednesday, because it is the person that Shawn recommends at the end of the interview. I don't know. I might just keep y'all waiting because it's a big one. It's a big one that I've been wanting to do. So we'll see. Let me know what y'all think. If you guys want me to just tell you right now, I can tell you right now because you guys are tuning into the live stream. I just won't announce it on Twitter, so I'll give y'all the inside scoop. So it is Trevelin Queen, which I'm really excited about. I just got the confirmation from his agent maybe a couple hours ago. So I'll be talking to him on Thursday, which means that tomorrow I'll announce it on Twitter and Aggie Alert and all that, and I'll start collecting questions so that way we can have something for Trev. Steven M said, "Just keep us waiting." On my bad. Well, that's the inside scoop for tuning into the live stream. But yeah, it will be Trev. So that's super cool. I'm probably gonna start finding the film, the plays, and all that. I'll start doing my research tonight, just as soon as this live stream is over. So we got the tip ball here. Audikoechea wins it over Parag. That one sails out of bounds, but I guess Parag hit that there. Stephen M, the Queen. Yes, sir. There he is right there. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I was pretty sure that I was going to be able to get it because I have already talked to Trev this summer because I am working on that article that'll come out once we get closer to draft day, which is October 16th, I believe. As you see, Yvonne backing Parag down, the footwork, the up and under. Beautiful move, the patience down low, something I say every time with Yvonne, but it really is the case. Yeah, but I was pretty sure I was going to be able to talk to Trev. I just wanted to wait until I had something secure. So we see Fair and Flavors letting it fly, no good. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. Definitely a lot of plays to choose from, for sure. I don't know what sort of throwback thing I'll be able to find, or restaurants. I haven't looked at any of that yet. I'm sure I'll get plenty of fan questions about him regarding just, his NBA prospects and all that. So it'll be entertaining for sure. And Trev's always a great interview. Super respectful. Already probably one of the more media-trained guys. So he's not really fluttered by any questions. He always gives you a good answer, a lengthy answer, which is great because sometimes guys can just give you really short quotes. But Trev's great every time, so it's going to be fun. 2-0 lead for New Mexico State. Milan Aqua with the basketball, the eventual WAC Player of the Year, who has now entered the NBA draft. Speaking of pro aspirations, who almost had that 3-ball on the step back. Good recovery by Trev. A miss by Milan, and Terrell's going the other way. Trev with the basketball here on the wing, comes off the screen from Yvonne, gets to the CJ, swinging around the perimeter here. 15 on the shot clock. Yvonne wants it. He's going to get it. They're still swinging this around. Tough layup, no good by Trev. NM State leading the all-time series 2-1, which pretty much just means this season and last season, which is when the Lancers joined the conference. And they will be eligible for this upcoming season's WAC tournament, as we see corner pocket rocket by Trev. They will be eligible, which is a new thing that the NCAA put in. Stephen M. for Queen question, has Brooke Salas helped your game out any? That's a good question. Yeah. The NMSU power couple. Yeah, I'll definitely ask that. Let me save that right now. Karen Montano, good evening, Justin. What did I miss? I just announced the, first of all, good evening. I appreciate you tuning in. Just announced that I set up a interview date with Trevelyan Queen. So he will be straight shooter number 10, I think, the following week when I'm gone. So he'll be the guy that I'll be talking to. I'm talking to him this Thursday. And it should be fun. I'll take questions for him right now if you guys have any. I will also I'm still taking questions for Aggie Mailbag, because I don't know, guys. I don't know if we're gonna have an Aggie Mailbag episode. I haven't gotten any questions. I haven't gotten any on Twitter. I got the one from you, Cameron, for this week, but that's about it. I don't think I got any from Aggie Alert. So we'll see. I mean, it's still only Tuesday. I'd like to get the questions done today so that way I can have the article written and then record tomorrow, because it's a real pain in the ass to get it all done in one day if I have to do that all on Wednesday. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I had to announce right now is that we got an interview with Trev. Also, the video with Shawn Buchanan has been fully edited. I just finished that maybe 20 minutes before the stream. So it's going to be a little bit over 20 minutes. I thought it was going to be a little bit under. But it's 20 and change, about, I think, 35 seconds over. Yeah, great interview. Great breakdown by Shawn. Looking forward to you guys seeing that one. So we got the free throw there. Got it to go. Lancer's on the board. As you guys know, this is the perfect record on the line here. As we see Shawn Buchanan, Boyd covering him here. Bobbitt's gonna drive, and he will get blocked, but it is a foul, not on Parag, on I believe is that Flavors. Looks like it. Stepping in, but just a little bit late. Farron Flavors Jr. Probably one of my favorite names in the WAC. That's a pretty cool name. Farron Flavors Jr. Up there with Tennessee Owens. Also a good one. Free throws for CJ. First one is up. You guys already know. Free money, as he likes to put it. Free J Bobbitt. The Killeen, Texas native. Fellow Texan like myself. Killeen being not too far of a drive from Austin, Texas, where I went to school. So that's always, that was cool. I think I brought that up when I interviewed him for Straight Shooter, I want to say. If not then, we have talked about it before, but yeah, someone who grew up a Longhorns fan, CJ, so also pretty cool. Kick out there. Bobbitt playing defense. That's a turnover. Trev's going to slow this one down a little bit. Get it to CJ. Terrell driving. Ooh, thriving, but they're going to call it a foul on the floor beforehand. Always good to see Terrell putting it on the deck, though. Just makes him a little bit less predictable. Keeps the defender on their toes a little bit when they're guarding him out on the perimeter. And again, that is something that he said that's the first thing he works on when he gets into the gym for practice, is the mid-range pull-up, the finishing, as we see it right there. No foul, though. Because he can already shoot. It's just about adding a different dimension to his game. And that's another dimension. The steal. Quick hands defensively, leads to the three ball the other way. Cash money. That little sequence pretty much sums up his game right there. The WAC defensive team selection. Shout out to him. Aggie's a perfect 2 for 2 from deep. That would be Trev and Terrell. Double team coming, and it's going to lead to a turnover. Lancer's not really handling this pressure well. And the lob, oh my goodness. That would have been bad. That would have been bad for Milan if that was a dunk. He might not have won the WAC Player of the Year had that dunk happen. Can we see that one more time? I don't think they're going to show it to us. That would have been filthy, though. Brandon Montano. I'm assuming a relation to Cameron. Question. Why do you think the Aggies always get blown out so bad when they get to the tournament? Are they scared of playing big schools, or is the talent gap just that big? I mean, they played Auburn really close, and that's a team that made it really far into the NCAA tournament. So, at least in terms of this recent group, I don't think blown out is a good term for it. You can go back to a couple years before that, sure. So we see Johnny with the breakaway steal. I don't know. I don't think there's that big of a level of a jump. I just think that it's just a matter of maybe they're not adjusted to that type of competition that they're facing. Because obviously they've handled good Power 5 squads in the past. You saw they handled Mississippi State, who I believe was tournament bound this season, had there been an NCAA tournament. You saw they handled Kansas. Maybe they just didn't play very well on the big stage. But I don't think it's that big of a gap. You see mid-majors winning in the tournament all the time. So I really don't think that's the case. Anybody can beat anybody in the NCAA tournament. As we see Milan Alka with the basketball. Coming off the screen there, he's going to take this one. You already know, but that's good defense by Jabari Rice. Oh, we missed that one. A knockdown by CJ. Getting to start this game with it being senior night. And he had a couple buckets, I think, in this one. I mean, everybody did. They scored pretty easily in this one. See Jabari a little too physical there. But that's one of those matchups where you got to be up in Milan's jersey. If you give him any sort of space, under any circumstances, he's scoring on you. He's too good of a shooter. So, they don't even want him getting the ball or anything like that. So I don't mind that foul by Jabari. Speaking of which, the redshirt sophomore getting the rebound here, getting it to Evan, who's now in the game. Trev swinging it around. Gets it to the UTEP transfer. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Jabari with the basketball. Boyd covering him. Someone's going to have to put this one up here. That's a nice extra pass by Johnny. Oh, no. Interfered with it there. That was on its way down, too. Oh, let me see this one. That's a great extra pass by Johnny. Oh. You see CJ's upset with himself there. 12-11. Cal Baptist trailing. 14:30 left in this first half, so already in a hole here. This was a real statement game for the Aggies, man. I mean, they already had established themselves as the best team in the conference. As we see a beautiful block by Jabari. Oh my goodness. I don't remember that. I would have saved that for the straight shooter interview had I seen that before. Jeez, I hope they show us an instant replay of that. Oh, let me have this dance. Corner pocket rocket. Filthy. That's one play that I'm showing Trev for sure. 13. Let me write that in my notes. 16 minutes against Cal Baptist. Yeah, had I seen that Jabari Rice one, I'd honestly forgot about it. I would have shown that to Jabari for sure. That was disgusting. Karen Montano, there's another question on Aggie Alert for you about the mailbag. Yeah, if it's the Jaquan Scott one, let me look it up. If it's the Jaquan Scott one, I don't want to keep going back to him because again, he's not somebody that has decided to go to New Mexico State yet, and he has deleted that tweet. You see a charge drawn by Evan, even though he got shaken up there. He's also deleted that tweet, narrowing it down to Kansas and New Mexico State. So I don't even know how real of a possibility it is right now that he's going to either of those schools. So I don't know. I don't like to reach too much when it comes to these incoming prospects. If they narrow it down and there's a legitimate chance they can go to New Mexico State, then I'll talk about them a little bit more. That's why I did in the first Aggie mailbag when I talked about Jaquan. But right now, there's just too much up in the air for me to even get into the what would happen if he went to New Mexico State, if he committed. I'll wait until that happens, until we actually start to speculate on if he's going to redshirt or not, stuff like that. So that's why I'm just not answering that one. And also, it would just be a very short response, like what I was just saying right now, and it wouldn't really help in terms of trying to make the video long enough, making the article long enough. It would just be a very short answer like that. So yeah, until we hear more about Jaquan Scott, I'm really not going to be covering it too much more, or I won't be speculating on it too much anymore. If there's any more news that comes out, then sure. But until then, I'm just gonna wait. We see Trevelyan Queen, front iron and out. And then I think the other Aggie mailbag, or the other Aggie Alert question was for me to ask the coaching staff how things are going. And for that, I'm not going to do that for Aggie Mailbag. I'll make a separate article for that. And I am planning on doing that. I'll have like a Zoom interview with Coach Jans. Probably when I get back from vacation, I'll have that. And that'll be its own video version. That'll be its own article. There would just be a lot that I'd want to ask him, and I don't want to restrict that to the one segment of an Aggie Mailbag thing. I think the views would be a lot better if I put it in its own article and made that the headline and all that. So that's where I'm at with those two questions. So we see Johnny driving, getting blocked by Zach Parag. Good contest there. Or not Zach Parag, I'm sorry, this is Morrison. All ball. Clean. But it will stick with the Aggies. So we got a sub here. There you go, cool. Alright, Evan Gilliard set to inbound this basketball. Gets to Terrell in the corner. Now to Yvonne. 16 on the shot clock for New Mexico State. Already a 16-13 lead. 12:50 left in this first half. Evan gonna let it fly. Way right, but Yvonne with the offensive rebound, and that's a bucket. Flexing on him as well. That time it was over Zach Parag. Stephen M. Mailbox, what area offense / defense will improve most from last year's team and this year? Yeah, I can definitely do that. For sure. That's a good question. Because I mean, they already were at the top, offensively and defensively in the WAC. So I think it would be marginal, but I could definitely look at like certain aspects even within an offense or within the defense, because I can think of a couple off the top of my head that will improve. So yeah, I'll definitely get into that for sure. Appreciate that. So we got another break here. Shout out to NM Aggie Athletic Archive as always for providing this video for us. That way we can watch it. They provided all but I think about 2 games from this whole Aggie Rewind series of ours. So big shout out to them. If you guys haven't subscribed, make sure and go subscribe to them. So you take a look at the lady there rocking the Pascal Siakam jersey, looks like. Pretty cool. 18-13 New Mexico State. I was saying earlier, I think I had gotten sidetracked on it, but yeah, even though the Aggies already had established themselves as the top team in the conference, I think this was really a statement game for them. Because Cal Baptist, had they been eligible, would have been the 2 seed by a pretty considerable margin in the WAC tournament. And this is a chance for New Mexico State to say, hey, we got Trev back. Terrell's been playing at full strength. Evans fully integrated into the system. Like, this was really them saying, hey, we're on top of our game heading into the tournament. And they delivered that statement pretty emphatically with this game. Just blowing out the second best team in the conference. It really showed the gap that there is in the WAC between New Mexico State and the rest. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Evans going to have to find something here. And it's a turnover. Is it going Cal Baptist way? It is. That it is. That is Flavors, I believe, breaking that up. Trev saying, hey, let's slow it down a little bit. 2 turnovers for the Aggies so far. Not bad. 5 for Cal Baptist. Already a problem. The Aggies have been causing some problems here on the defensive side of the ball. Trev with the defense here. And are they calling that on Jabari from behind? Or not on Jabari. It looked like it was a foul from behind on Evan. Yeah, Evan got him on the arm beforehand. Again, I am guessing on a lot of these on foul calls or what the call is because I do have it muted. I feel like I got to say that every time with this video because there's a couple times every video where I just seem a little bit lost, but it's that way you guys can hear me over the commentators. That did look pretty clearly to be a foul on Evan. Yvonne with the basketball here, single coverage, he's taking it. You know, you can call it out every single time. If it's single coverage, he feels like he can score on anybody in the conference. That's a nice hook shot. An eventual all-WAC first-team selection, the Spaniard. Ooh. He tried to counter Yvonne's hook shot and make it even longer. That's the same spot that he hit just a couple minutes ago. Terrell Brown, his hot spot on the wing. If it's a fast break, I feel like I'm a broken record on some of these, but a lot of these players have very consistent tendencies where Yvonne, if he's getting single coverage, he's taking it down low. If it's a fast break, Terrell Brown is getting onto the wing and shooting that 3-ball. Hey, if they're hitting it at high percentages, I'm not mad at it. Terrell Brown cashing in there. Karen Montana, this game proves that NMSU is the best team in the WAC for sure. Yeah, and I think even more so it proved that it wasn't even that close, like on top of that. Because I do think had Cal Baptist been in the tournament, they would have been the biggest competition over a team like UTRGV that was the 2 seed. As much as I think UTRGV is a pretty good matchup for New Mexico State. Despite that, if I had to pick one or the other which team could beat New Mexico State, even though this is a blowout game, I would say the Lancers because they have the offense. If they caught fire, like what we saw in that first half of the first meeting, where they actually had the lead at halftime, like I think they have the potential to compete with New Mexico State a little bit more than UTRGV. But this game showed that it's still a pretty considerable gap. And I think it's going to be a pretty big gap again this upcoming season with Cal Baptist losing just about everybody, UTRGV losing Leslie Varner and Jordan Jackson, Utah Valley losing Isaiah White, and who else did they lose? Either TJ Washington or Brandon Avert. One of them transferred away. I'm blanking on who it is. Seattle losing Terrell Brown and Morgan Means. There's just a lot of moving pieces in the conference, and New Mexico State definitely got the best incoming transfer class out of everybody in the conference. In addition to bringing back an all-WAC first-team selection in Jabari Rice, and he's the only all-WAC first-team selection coming back from last season. Ooh, a little step by Milan. Shawn wanted the call, didn't get it, and there's a call. Does that Morrison get into the line? That it is. Yeah, that looks clean. I think Shawn wanted the push off. I think he was trying to sell it a little bit there, but that he did put a little bit of a hand on his hip. As long as you don't extend it, you're good. So I'm not mad at that being a no call there. You know Shawn's looking to draw the charge. That too, I think that also factors into it. The refs know Shawn's going to be looking for that charge and hitting the deck. Just 4 points. Make that 5 points for the Lancers in the first 10 minutes. Stifling defense by the Aggies. And just one made field goal too. They got 3 made free throws, so I didn't even notice that. Only 1 made field goal for the Lancers in the first 10 minutes. Jeez. Trevor Kuhn with the basketball here. He is driving. Looks like they did a good job there of poking that away. You see Will McNair getting into the game. Yeah, that's clean. they calling that a foul on Will? Guess so. 23-5, 9:30 left in this first half. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. As always, whether you guys are watching this live or on repeat, it means a lot. Our season finale, the end of our Aggie Rewind series, which has been a lot of fun going back and watching all these games. A good refresher. This was one of the plays that I wanted to show Shawn that I didn't end up. Because I've talked about it before. I showed 3 plays for the first segment of Straight Shooter, which is the film room. And normally I have about 6 and I narrow it down. This was up there. The only reason why I didn't show it is we got yet another strip. The only reason why I didn't show it is because I've had multiple times where I've shown players, like I think I showed Terrell, him guarding Milan Aqua, and I think I showed Jabari Rice guarding Milan Aqua, something like that. I've showed people guarding Milan Aqua multiple times. And the reason why I do, obviously, he's the WAC Player of the Year. It's a big deal whenever you can stop this guy from getting a bucket. But I don't want to just go back to the same person every single time, Like there was another instance of it for big men, scoring on Emmanuel Lojapoki, who I feel was, or is definitely the best rim protector in the WAC this past season, just block percentage-wise. There are multiple players and instances where I could have shown them scoring on Emmanuel Lojapoki. I didn't want to because I just don't want to get repetitive. So that's why I didn't show that clip to Shawn, but definitely we still had some good ones that I showed him that you guys will see tomorrow when I release the episode. Down low, got it to go. That is Davis, I believe. Let me make sure that's correct. Shawn Davis. I should pull up the first half box score for this. I have not done that yet. Let's get that done. CJ Bobbitt letting it fly. No good on a 3-point shot. Alrighty. Yeah, that was the Shawn Davis. So we got, is that a tray ball? Deep 2 from Milan Aqua. Cool. So at halftime, we will have this first half box score. I just got that pulled up. Still a little ways away. We got 8 minutes, a little under 8 minutes left in this first half. Terrell Brown with the basketball. He's letting that fly. Yes, sir. He's been feeling it this game. I think that's number 3 from behind the arc. Even with his struggles, which he definitely had shooting-wise this season, the confidence never wavered from Terrell, and that's what you like to see out of your best shooters on the team. That's something that Jan's was talking about too, that even when Terrell was struggling, even when he wasn't at full strength, he's still drawing up plays for him to get him open and get him a good look. Because all it takes is one to get going if you're a good shooter like Terrell is. And he's feeling it right now. 20-point lead for the Aggies with 7:17 left in this first half. Yeah, I would go ahead and skip past a lot of these, but with it being the season finale, I'm just going to let it ride. I'm not going to fast forward anything. I think it's like an hour and 40 minutes. So it'll come out to around a little under 2 hours for the live stream in general. As we'll look at the final box score, we'll look at the quotes from the team, my final score prediction for this one, which I'm sure was way off. Because I did have New Mexico State winning, but not by a lot, obviously. CJ Bobbitt with the basketball here. He's been getting a lot of playing time. As you see Terrell Brown missing that 3. That's a heat check. He's been getting a lot of playing time with his being senior night. Terrell guarding Milan. Probably the best isolation scorer in the WAC. I think I gotta give it to Milan. Although he misses there. Terrell with the basketball. Gets it to Johnny. That's a great find. and it's a knockdown by Evan. Good vision by Johnny there to find him. Just such a smooth game, man. It really doesn't feel like Johnny's forcing it at all, which is what I'm really interested to see this upcoming season, because he is going to be a lot more involved in the offense in terms of they're going to look for him as the team's go-to scorer along Jabari Rice. We see a spot up three by Trev. That's also cash. So I'm interested in seeing how Johnny manages that, if it becomes forced, if he's not as efficient, because he has been efficient since he got to the team. He actually led the team in, I believe, 2-point percentage even 2 years ago as a redshirt, what would that be, redshirt sophomore? Obviously it was a much smaller sample size since he wasn't used as much. But he's always been somebody who's really good in finding the right shot, and if not, passing it up. So I'm interested in seeing how he handles an even bigger role this upcoming season. Aggie's feeling it right now, though. 35-9. Insane. See Milan Aqua from Bakersfield. Surprised he didn't transfer to Cal State Bakersfield, because he came over from, was it Washington or Washington State? I'm leaning towards Washington, but I'm probably wrong. Milan Aqua, I think it's Washington State. Yeah, Washington State. Stephen M., can you provide us your starting line for the start of the season? Yeah, definitely. With the guys that I know are eligible right now, I would say Evan Gilliard at the 1, Jabari Rice at the 2, Clayton Henry at the 3, Johnny McCants at the 4, and Will McNair at the 5. I would say is will be, and I think that's pretty safe. The only thing I could see, not even that, because at first I was looking at, like, if they really wanted to get more spacing and more 3-point shooting, they could move Wilfred to the 5. But he's somebody who honestly was playing at the small forward spot at 6'10", as you see Trev just cooking him. At 6'10", at what was it, Casper College? He was somebody who's playing that small forward spot, so I could really see him playing the power forward spot at most. I don't see them moving him to center unless they really wanted to embrace the 3-point shooting. So I think that's pretty safe right now. Would be the starting 5 as of today. Now later in the season, as we see a good pass there by Trev to Jabari, it's a miss though. Later in the season, once Mayan Kerr and Marcus Watson become eligible, which they're expected to at the start of the spring semester, which is the beginning of WAC play pretty much. So we see the 3 by Milan. Maybe Mayan Kerr can take that starting spot from Will if we don't see enough progression out of him. But that would be my prediction for the start of the year for Game 1. And of course, if AJ does become eligible, then you would move Evan to the 6-man role and have AJ as the starter. So you got Johnny getting to the free throw line. Let's see. Apologies, guys. 1 second. Sorry about that. My little sister is a junior in college right now, and she's got an essay that she's working on. So she's sending it to me right now to look at it. So I just had to reply to that real quick. Pretty much anybody in the family, extended family, sends like their articles to me and stuff like that. Just with my job. You see Trev, he's been on fire this whole game. Safe to say, back to to where he was prior to his injury. Really, the whole team's been knocking him down, though. We'll see that when we check out the first half stats. Stephen M., what player from another WAC team would you like to see play for the Aggies? That's a great question. Guys that are coming back this upcoming season. Because right off the bat, my top one would be Leslie Varner. That's something I was talking about for last season, even though he just graduated out of UTRGV. Because I think he fills a similar role to Johnny in the sense that he's at that 4 spot. He can stretch, but also he's just a lot more switchable on the defensive side of the ball. Where Johnny maybe had some problems guarding guys on the perimeter, I think Leslie Varner could guard positions 1 through 4, honestly. So I think that would have been good. But of guys that are coming back, I'd have to think about that. Let me think about guys that are coming back. Well, I mean, the perfect one, it would be a little overpowered. The perfect one would be Alessandro Lever. Because as of right now, 1 through 4, with that starting lineup I was saying, 1 through 4, all of those guys can knock down the 3 ball. Will, not so much. He's more of a traditional center down low. Putting in Lever at that 5 spot and just having everybody be able to shoot the basketball would be ridiculous. It'd be impossible to stop. No team in the WAC would be able to even come close to that. But if we're not just trying to get an overpowered lineup, then I'd have to think about somebody else. Let me think. You see Trev with the shot there. I think Mikey Dixon out of Grand Canyon. I know they're both Grand Canyon guys, but I feel like both of them would be really great fits. Dixon being a small forward, which the Aggies already don't have a whole lot of depth at that wing spot. And him being someone who's young as well. Only entering his not his sophomore. His junior year, I think. So we'd have another year after that. Those are 2 guys right off the bat. I don't know how you all would feel about a Grand Canyon guy playing for New Mexico State, but then again, Gilliard is from UTEP. But those are just 2 that come to mind. So we see Johnny getting fouled. Stephen M., having lived in South Texas and now Southern, what school is harder to recruit to, NMSU or UTRGV? I don't know too much about the recruiting process for UTRGV, outside of the fact that they've just, obviously they're not a school that's going to get 4 stars or anything like that. I think the highest they've ever gotten is 3, at least from recent memory. So, I mean, I would just say they're just lower. They're still in the same range as New Mexico State, just there at the bottom of the mid-major type of thing. New Mexico State being at the top, where if you are a Power 5 player transferring away, you're definitely more likely to go to New Mexico State than UTRGV. But definitely both of them are in that same boat where you are relying on transfers more so than getting talent right out of high school. Because that's just the case with any mid-major for the most part, unless it's a homegrown kid like Johnny McCants, So I would say not that different than New Mexico State, but just to a lesser degree, I guess you would say, in terms of their transfer success. We take a look at CJ there. But yeah, definitely the whole time I was living in Edinburgh, right across the street from UTRGV, there was never really a big name. Oh, did you hear UTRGV got this guy? That was definitely not a thing. For basketball, really for any sport for the most part. There's a lot of under the radar guys, transfer people, that type of deal. 42-16 lead for New Mexico State with 2:15 left in this first half. Once we get to halftime, we will look up the first half box score as always. Just 16 points for the Lancers to Shawn Buchanan. That's an easy steal. Beautiful pass by Trev, and they're just going for the highlight reel at this point. Johnny almost forced a turnover there. Trev, like, you saw that, right? You saw me do that. Oh man. Again, I wasn't here at New Mexico State. This is my first year. Like, I wasn't here years and years before this, so I don't know. But I'd imagine there's only a handful of guys who have been as entertaining as Trev, in terms of just like flashiness. You know what I mean? As we, jeez. In terms of guys just looking to put up highlights, I would imagine Trev is at the top there. Let me know if there are some more. But yeah, he's a performer, man, an entertainer for sure. So you see the mid-range pull up there, no good. Lancers will get the basketball. That was a loose ball there. This is Morrison. We got a foul on Johnny. Down low. Already a 30-point lead for New Mexico State. You see, this was great for me, because I've talked about it before. I have a lot of problems with a close game where I'm struggling to get this story ready for print, which the deadline is 5 minutes after the game's over. Not this time. I had this article written up by halftime. By the time halftime ended, I had this article written. All I needed to do was list a couple big plays from the second half, put in the final score into the headline, and that was good. And you can just write that as the game's happening in the second half, you know? So, like, literally as soon as the final buzzer sounds, I had this article already done. So that always makes my job really easy. Especially with this being a game so significant, with it being them going for history, going for the undefeated record and all that in conference play. Had this been a close game, that would have been really bad, because I would not want to miss the print deadline for something that big, or I wouldn't want to have the story rushed, you know. This gave me plenty of time to, I don't remember what I wrote for the article, to be honest with you. I haven't looked back at it. But I do remember that it came out really good, like the lead, the intro section and all that. As we see Will with the miss. Second effort. That's going Lancers' way, yes sir. Yeah, this gave me plenty of time to just polish the article and stuff like that, which if it's a close game, I don't get to do that. I have to rush it a lot. Which there were a lot of instances for that for New Mexico State this season, because they had a lot of kind of 50-50 games that could have gone either way. This was not one of them. 40 seconds left in the first half. 3-ball there. Cash money. That is Flavors. Aggies up by 26. And the shot clock is off here. So they should hold this for the last possession before we go into the break. Shawn Buchanan going to sit on the basketball here for a little bit. Gets it to Williams. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Coming off the screen from Will. Finds CJ. That's a great look. Oof, doesn't fall. 46-20, New Mexico State at halftime. Trevelyan Queen, a look at him. He's been killing it. Let's take a look at the first half stats, so we can see just what exactly was going on here. For Cal Baptist, it is Milan Aqua, as you would expect, with a team high 11 points, 3 rebounds, however 3 turnovers on 4 for 12 shooting. So Aggie's actually been doing a pretty good job guarding him there. Didn't make anything easy for him in the first 20 minutes. And then Farron Flavors Jr., 4 points, the second leading scorer for Cal Baptist, so a pretty big gap. He also had 1 dime on 1 for 5 shooting. 8 turnovers in total for the Lancers. They shot 6 for 26, 23.1% from the floor, 2 for 10 from the three-point line, which is 20%, and 6 for 8 from the charity stripe, which is 75%. So Aggies making them work. Speaking of the Aggies, Trevelyan Queen, 15 points. No surprise there if you were watching this game so far. He's been lighting it up. 15 points on 5 for 7 shooting to go along with 2 rebounds, 2 dimes, 2 steals. Really good outing in that first half. Terrell Brown, 9 points, 1 rebound on 3 for 5 shooting, 3 for 4 from deep, as you would expect. Most of his points are going to come from the perimeter. And then 7 points and 4 rebounds for C.J. Bobbitt, who actually played 17 minutes out of the first 20. So that's not very normal. However, with it being senior night, he got that bigger role, and he's been taking advantage. 2 for 5 shooting for him. 3 turnovers for the Aggies. Really good stuff there, because I've been saying as long as you keep it to single digits, that's good, and they're definitely on par for that at the midway point. 15 for 29 shooting from the floor for the Aggies, 51.7%. 9 for 16 from deep, 56.3%, and 7 for 9 from the free throw line, which is 77.8%. Pretty much not a lot of misses for the Aggies, as they've been getting everything pretty much however they want it so far. We got 20 minutes left in this one, as the Lancers are going to try to chip away at this, make it a little bit more respectable, if anything, here. (46-20) in favor of New Mexico State, and let's get this started. Oh, let's hear what Jans has to say. Got to check that out.
And they're seeking perfection, and Queen is leading the way. Halftime comes up next.
They've been a fun group to coach. I think the thing that stands out the most to me is how competitive they are with one another on the practice floor, but how they love and root for one another on game day. There's just a vibe in that locker room that's positive, that they really root for one another. When they're not in the game, that they want the other person to do well, even if it's a position that's similar to theirs, that knowing that if that person doesn't play well, they'll probably come out. And I just don't feel that's the case with these guys. And that's special, especially in this day and age. It's very, very special, and I'm proud of them for that, and proud of our culture that's what it's saying right now. Hopefully that will continue for us when they leave. But we're gonna lose a big core of who this program is and who this program has been for the last 2 to 3 years, because of these seniors and what they've done to this program.
There you have it. Coach Jan's talking about the impact that this senior class has had on the program these past couple of years. I think really well. The fact that this is just not a selfish squad. It's not a squad that's if you're a backup, you're preying on the starter's downfall so you get more minutes. It's none of that. It's none of, hey, I'm a natural scorer, so all I want to do is score. No, it's a lot of sacrifices, a lot of being willing to play positions you're not comfortable with, that you've never played before, stuff like that. So, yeah, pretty special class, man. Pretty special. And that's why I'm really looking forward to seeing this upcoming season. Just if the dynamic of the team changes, if the playing style changes, because there's so many moving pieces. I don't expect it to that much, because I still think that Jans is a pretty set coaching style, and I don't expect it to change too much. But personalities, you never know if certain players might not mix well with each other, if the chemistry might be a little bit off. That's something we're going to see this season, and I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of changes there are. You see Shawn Buchanan had to put that up, but he at least grazed the rim, so the shot clock will reset, and Yvonne will get a free throw as a result of that. 2 free throws. Yeah, as much as I would love to cover like guys like Trev, guys like Yvonne for another year, it is always cool getting just new guys in the mix, new players that I get to talk to for the first time. New film that I get to scout and review and stuff like that. It's always exciting. So for that reason, I'm looking forward to this upcoming season. Although obviously I'll still be keeping tabs of like Trev and Yvonne, CJ, AJ if he doesn't come back, seeing what all of them are up to at that next level. The Spaniard with the free throw here, Cash Money. 47-20 with 19 minutes left in this contest. It's really been a runaway game for New Mexico State since the jump. Lancers trying to get something going offensively. It's been a struggle for pretty much everybody outside of Milan. Speaking of which, he's got the basketball here. A little crossover on Shawn. Clean defense. He's been clamping them this game. Clamps. Let's see this. That's just good defense. But they were calling a foul on that? Oh, okay. Again, it's on mute, so I don't hear the whistle or anything like that. I guess he got him on the hand there. So I was going to say, he did a good job. You know, Milan's the type of guy that's going to lean in for contact. He's someone who gets to the free throw line really easily. Shawn did a good job with backtracking there without letting him put his chest into him. However, it looks like he swiped down on his hand there. It's a tough ask to guard him in isolation, though. A one-on-one with Milan. Yeah, whether he gets drafted or not, I'm assuming by him entering the draft that his aspirations would be, even if he doesn't get drafted, maybe G League or a Summer League team or something like that. He's going to get his chance. He's going to get his chance when you're that good of a scorer. For sure. And you've got good size. Some team will take a fly on him, whether it be in the Summer League or in the G League or something. So we see Vaughn misses down low, and we got a foul. It looks like CJ drew that one. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. As always, if you guys are watching this live or on playback, it means a lot to me. Good hustle there by the Spaniard, getting that rebound over Morrison. And it's Vaughn going to the line here. 2 free throws for him. First one is up. Got it to go. Got it to go. Aggie's trying to improve to 16-0 in WAC play and end their regular season with a bang here. Cash. Yeah, this definitely was my most exciting game that I covered this year, even though it wasn't exciting necessarily because the game was close. It was just the atmosphere was great, the history, all that stuff. CJ wide open. Ooh, rims out though. I just really would have loved to have covered a game in WAC Vegas, all the games, you know, and then the NCAA tournament if they would have won. Would have been great. It would have been great. And there was like a little amount of time as soon as we landed in Vegas, which was the day before the men's tournament was going to start. The women's just had their first round that day. There was like a point even then where we felt like maybe they were going to get games with just no fans. And while that wouldn't have been as fun, even then, like I still would have loved to have covered it. Even if it would have been an empty gym, it would have been weird for sure. At the end of the day, that would have been great getting to cover the tournament. I'm looking forward to doing that this year. You know, that's something that I really want to do when I accepted the job here, because I had never covered a Division I conference tournament. I haven't done that yet because I was doing high school in North Dakota, and I was doing a Division II tournament, so I covered that. But other than that, at UT, I didn't cover men's basketball for a full season. I was more of just like a sub. I did like women's basketball, and I covered that. I covered the women's basketball Big 12 tournament. But that would have been my first men's D1 conference tournament, so it's definitely still something on my bucket list, and hopefully the NCAA tournament after that. So we see CJ driving, kicking it out to Shawn. Under 10 on the shot clock here. Aggie's up by 27. Putting the moves. That pass got broken up by Morrison. Aqua going the other way. Shawn clapping. He wants this matchup. Good job by Trev there to break that up. The confidence by Shawn. He lives for these types of matchups, man. If you follow New Mexico State, it's kind of stating the obvious here, but defense is where he takes the most pride in his game. And that comes with getting the tough matchups. Milan Aqua, Terrell Brown from Seattle. So you see Aqua pulling up, no good. And even in practice, I mean, you got AJ Harris when he's healthy. You've got Evan Gilliard. We talked about that in the Straight Shooter interview, which that episode is coming out tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Even in practice, he looks forward to those tough matchups. We talked a little bit about him guarding his older brother, Leroy Buchanan, or Shaq Buchanan, who's with the Memphis Hustle now, the G League team for the Grizzlies. We talked a little bit about what their one-on-one matchups are like, Shawn's game plan for guarding his brother, stuff like that. So looking forward to y'all seeing that, because I mean that's even more difficult than these guys in the WAC, honestly, because Shaq is bucket, dude. For those who don't follow him with the Memphis Hustle, he's been lighting it up. You see CJ with the and one. Yeah, Shaq's been hooping. I need to get a Grizzlies jersey, actually. I really want to get like a John Morant one or something like that. One of those throwback ones that it's not teal, right? You know, it's the old Memphis one with the actual Grizzly on it and the crazy like print on the collar and the lining. Yeah, that would be cool. I used to have like a really big throwback jersey collection, but I stopped wearing jerseys in general. Now it's more so just collecting the ones that are really cool. And John Morant, definitely one of my favorite up and coming players in the league. So we got a little break here. Shout out to NM Aggie Athletic Archive, as always, for providing this video for us. Normally I would skip past this stoppages and everything, the timeouts, but with this being the season finale, I'm just going to let it play. I'm in no rush. We'll just watch this one the whole way through. I mean, I do have the mailbag thing to do after this, but we're just going to enjoy this. It's our last episode of this Aggie Rewind series. I appreciate everybody who's been tuning in for all of this. We started this over a month ago, and like a week prior to us starting this, we'd also had like a month-long series with the 2K version of this, the video game version of this. So I've been live streaming every night, mostly every night, for the past like 2.5 months, and it's been fun. I've enjoyed it. So we see Boyd with the turnover there. Yeah, if I could think of another nightly series to do, I would start one up, but I can't think of anything else that we could do. We'll still have the Straight Shooter things every week, the Aggie mailbag thing every week. I'll do a couple videos here and there throughout the summer, like the top 10 plays from last season, that kind of stuff. But I can't think of anything else that would warrant like a nightly series anymore. So this is the last of that. You got Terrell Brown with the basketball here on the wing. And that's a foul. Yvonne drawing that here. Like down low, a little too much contact. Aggies with the double up and then some. 52-24. Let's see. Got like a ring that I always wear. I just realized I'm not wearing it. It's somewhere around here. Yvonne with the basketball. They did get some more time on the shot clock with that stoppage. So 10 on the shot clock now. Terrell with the basketball slips, and that'll be a travel, they call it. So sticking with the Aggies, and it's a new shot clock. Low, apparently. Let's see that one more time. It's tough. That's tough. Yeah, I mean, he's stumbling. That is a travel. So again, a fresh shot clock for the Aggies. Let's see if they can get something out of it this time. 0 fast break points for the Lancers is crazy compared to 12 for New Mexico State. Jabari going to work in the corner here on Flavors, I believe, and then a great pass to Yvonne down low. That's easy money. 30-point lead for New Mexico State with 14 minutes left in this contest. Stephen M., you need to continue your live podcast. Do a breakdown on next season's opposing teams. Yeah, definitely when the schedule comes out, I'm going to do a lot with that. I don't know if it's going to be video-based, for sure article-based, in terms of writing down like a couple hundred words on every matchup, probably predicting which games they'll win and lose and stuff like that. I could probably do it a video version. It would just take me so long to do a video version of that, because I'm talking this article is going to be, like for reference, Aggie Mailbag is like 1,200 words. This is going to be like 3,000 words, because that's what the last one was before it started last season. And so the 1,200 word thing, when I turn that into a video, it takes like 4 hours to record. So a 3,000 word one would take me a very long time to do. So I don't know if I'll make a video version of that, but I definitely will do a lot of coverage once the schedule comes out. Once we find out more about what the roster is going to look like with these waivers, I'll definitely have a lot of coverage on that. We got Terrell with the basketball here. Because I wouldn't be able to just do a live thing as soon as the schedule comes out. Because I'm not going to know a whole lot about these non-conference teams that they're playing. Like, I don't know anything about Santa Clara other than like the amount of points per game they averaged last season and like 2 guys that are coming back. And that's because I looked it up a little bit when I found it. So I won't know enough to actually break down everything until the schedule comes out and I take the time to sit down and really watch film, which that alone is also going to take like another day to go and look at all of the non-conference teams that they're playing. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of studying and stuff like that to get that ready. As we see Terrell knocking down the free throw there. Next one is up. Got it to go. But honestly, with the rate that New Mexico State had last season in terms of how long it took for them to put out their schedule, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get the full thing until like a month before the season starts. And by then I'll already be doing straight shooter, the season-long thing. I'll probably start it up like a month before the season actually starts. So we see a 3-ball there. So I might just dedicate a straight shooter episode to the schedule if it does come out at that time. If it comes out earlier, I'll just do the regular articles and stuff like I was talking about. But my guess is that we probably won't find out the full schedule until like a month before the season starts. And we see Shawn Williams tackling there. If that's the case, then yeah, I'll probably just make it its own straight shooter episode. But I can't wait for that. I can't wait to find out the schedule. Because not only is it cool to know who New Mexico State's playing, but it also tells me where I might travel to. You know? And that's one of the best parts about the job is getting to travel. Even though I don't get to do it very often, if it's a big game, maybe I can convince them to send me out to something. Like for football last year, Jason went out to cover the Washington State game. And definitely if there's a big game like that, then I could see them sending me out to it. So I'm looking forward to it for that reason and because I want to know who the Aggies are playing, you know. So I'm just as excited as anybody. Jabari Rice with the basketball here. Gets it right back. Great pass to Yvonne. Oh, the little up and under. The Spaniard with a little salsa on that one. Tough. 63-29, and that's a good take by Boyd, I believe. Double-digit score for the Lancers. Shawn Williams with the basketball here. Still not sure where he is going to end up this season after entering the transfer portal. Like, over 2 months ago. It's got to be by now. Johnny McCants doesn't kick the feet, so it's not a travel. Instead, it's an open three by Williams. No good. Jabari with the offensive board. And that's just not fair. Johnny with the easy cleanup dunk. New Mexico State been really aggressive on the glass so far. Something they'd had their struggles with at certain points of the WAC season, where they'd average under 10 offensive rebounds per game after averaging over 10 offensive rebounds per game in non-conference play. That's cash. But down the stretch here, they really did put an emphasis on that, and they got back on track. They had a pretty good run of double-digit performances. John Davis with the basketball here. Gets broken up. It sticks with the Lancers. Boyd splitting the defense. They're going to call a foul beforehand, though. It's a good split. As we got to break the Aggies in full control right now. Look at that, that's too easy. 68-31. New Mexico State with 9:57. El Rey de España. El Rey de España, Puerta del Sol, the Spaniard, whatever you want to call him. Ivan Audacochea getting things done for the Aggies. Definitely a fan favorite during his time at New Mexico State, and interested to see what he does next. I'm assuming basketball in Spain. That's just my assumption from what I've been hearing from certain people. But still nothing set in stone just yet for him. Hoping to talk to him soon for Straight Shooter as well. Would love to talk to Yvonne. As always another guy who's really great to talk to. I'm sure he'd be willing to talk too. I think it's just the overseas thing. Hopefully the connection will be fine. The difference in time, we looked it up. I think it was it's like 8 hours of a difference or something like that. I don't know. Karen Montano, also thank you for always answering my questions about NMSU basketball. Thank you for sending them in. I mean, I've said it before. To me, the thing I like the most about this job is getting to interact with you guys. So whether it be for Aggie Mailbag or just right here on the spot, it makes it a lot more entertaining for me. And not just answering guys' questions, but having conversations too. Like whatever question you guys ask me, feel free to let me know your opinion on it as well. Especially with these live streams. Because I'm sitting here talking to myself for an hour and a half if you guys don't send anything. So it makes my job a lot easier if you send in stuff. It helps me provide more content for you guys with the Aggie Mailbag series. So yeah, questions are always appreciated. Just feedback in general is always appreciated. If there's anything you guys think I could tweak about my coverage or about like Straight Shooter or Aggie Mailbag, like I'm always open to that as well. Yeah, I think a really big part of journalism is not just reporting, but also having a good connection with the people that you're providing that news to. You know what I mean? That's super important to me. So we see New Mexico State with a 68-31 lead. Johnny's saving that one. Shawn with the basketball. That's a turnover. Lancer's going the other way. They're looking for Flavors. No good, but the tip-in, I think they're calling a foul before that, though. Let's see. As he comes up, hobbling a little bit. Are they calling that on Shawn? You saw Armstrong with the tip-in. Yeah, that was after the whistle. So free throws for the man with one of the coolest names in the WAC, Aaron Flavors Jr. C&M, who is your role model as a journalist? That's a good question. I'd say probably Zach Lowe with ESPN. He's somebody that I actually met back in high school. Yeah, back in my junior year of high school, because I went to a writing competition in Boston, and he was there for that. And then later down the line, because like after that I really started to follow his work, and then later down the line, I want to say it was my junior or senior year of college, one of our assignments was to write an article on a journalist about their route to where they are right now. And I got back in touch with Zach, and I wrote a story on that. We had a good conversation just off the record as well about advice for me and stuff like that. So just for that alone, like, I really appreciated him taking the time to do that. As we see Shawn with the block, pumping up the crowd. And then in addition to that, his writing to me is great. And somebody who, I don't know how he gets sleep either. Like, the amount of work that he puts in, that alone just motivates me also. Anytime that I don't feel like writing an article or something like that, like, this guy's putting something out every single day. He always has a really crazy stat that nobody knows about either. Like, that's something that he says. He tries to put that into every single article. Is he wants one thing in the article that you can really take away and be like, that's surprising. I never knew about that. And so that's what I try to do with mine too. Whenever I do my really deep like breakdowns, is I try to bring up a stat or something that really highlights an aspect of a player's game, stuff like that. So yeah, Zach Lowe is probably my role model. And there's a couple other ones that are great, like Bill Simmons. I love his work just for the pop culture aspect of it, because if you guys follow any of my stuff, you know that I like to add a little bit of jokes, like the hometown heat stuff and throwback stuff. Like, I like to have fun with it also. And so I think I get that from Bill Simmons, from his work. There's a lot of other guys. Wright Thompson for ESPN, to me, is the best feature writer in the business, honestly. And he's somebody that I've been fortunate enough to talk to multiple times as well, because he's really good friends with my college professor. So we've gotten to hang out multiple times, and he's given me multiple pointers, stuff like that. So yeah, I've been fortunate enough, man. I've been fortunate to actually get to have some form of communication with these guys who are my role models. So super blessed for that. So we got Shawn Williams pulling up, no good. (70-32) lead for New Mexico State. 7:35 left. Boyd thought about it there. The Lancers still swinging this round. No field goals the last 3:30, but that's about to change with the 3 ball. Still a double up though. 35-point deficit for Cal Baptist. It really has been all New Mexico State. You look at the percentage-wise, that's a double up too. 52-26. Yikes. And this is a Cal Baptist team that puts up points, man. It's not that this is a defensive-minded squad. It doesn't score a lot. This is just a lockdown performance by the Aggies. It's a tough 3 by Trev with the shot clock winding down. Oh my goodness. That's what the kids are doing nowadays. I still don't really know what that means. I guess it's like I'm on your head or something like that. Like I sound really old by not knowing what that means. I get that they do it when they jump over somebody, where they like, oh, that's a stop. Throw the headband. I remember that play. Stop. I was gonna show that play to Shawn too, but I didn't. That was another one that didn't make the cut because I had one very similar to it. Oh no. Stop. 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 Oh my gosh. That's what I was saying. If you guys can name somebody from the past couple years that was as flashy as Trevelyan Queen on New Mexico State, feel free to let me know. Because I wasn't here. I've only been here for the past year. And I have like a general knowledge of the Aggie history, but definitely not as in-depth as you guys. Trev is he's a walking highlight, man. Cameron Montano, who was your favorite high school player in the class of 2020? That's a good question. Favorite high school player in the class of 2020? I'd say maybe Cade Cunningham, who's at Oklahoma State now. I really like his game a lot. And apparently he was listed as 6'6", but when he got to Oklahoma State, he's listed as 6'8" now, which is even more ridiculous considering he's such a good ball handler. Yeah, I'd probably say him. But in terms of just high school prospects in general, to me, the guy that I'm really excited about is Emoni Bates, which I believe he's class of 2022. I think he's entering his junior year, I want to say. It might even be 2023. He's young. He's young. I think, yeah, it is his class of 2022. To me, like, I see Kevin Durant when I watch that kid play. He's different. He's different. He's legit. Like, I can't think of the last high school prospect where I've been that excited about this guy. And I'm even putting that over, like, Zion in terms of excitement because he just does it all, man. His ball handling. He can shoot the three ball even though he's like, what is he, like 6'7", 6'8" right now as a sophomore? And he's going to get taller. He's insane. He's vicious. And he has a killer mentality, too. Like, he's somebody who he's aggressive. I'll just put it that way. When he dunks, like, he's staring down the guy that he dunks on and stuff like that. He's, like, flexing on him. He's a killer, dude. That's probably the high school prospect I'm the most excited about. But I guess out of 2020 would be Cunningham. And also props to Cunningham for sticking with Oklahoma State. Like, I respect that. The fact that he, being Oklahoma State, isn't going to be eligible for the tournament, but he said he already committed there, and he's sticking with it. Granted, he does have, what is it, an uncle, I think, that's on the coaching staff there? Something like that. He's got a family member on the coaching staff. I don't think it's his dad. I think it's like an uncle or something. So maybe that's why. But still, I do respect that. (76-35) lead for New Mexico State. Cameron Montano, Emoni Bates just signed with Michigan State and was named the Gatorade Player of the Year. Yeah, he's about to kill it in college once he gets there. I remember it's funny because when they put out that tweet, or whether I think it was Bleacher Report or whatever, that he signed with Michigan State, the Michigan part ended at the end of the line, and then the state part started up on a new line. And so some people were commenting, they were like, I'm a Michigan fan, and I read it saying he committed to Michigan just to scroll down a little bit more and it said state, and it broke my heart. Like, that's tough. That's just very unfortunate that it ended up that way in terms of how the tweet came out. But nah, he's a killer. He's a killer. As we saw Ivan go into the bench, getting that standing ovation. Unfortunately, didn't know this was his last college game. There he is, high-fiving Clayton Henry, that looked like Marcus Watson. Wilfred Lakai, DeJour Joseph at the end of the bench there. Yeah, Imani's different, for sure. And I've seen people like, Brandon Ingram gets the comparison to Kevin Durant all the time, especially out of college, which I didn't think was that great. He was a skinny small forward, they could shoot, but I think there's still levels to it. I didn't see that comparison very much. But Imani to me is the one who's like the purest comparison to Kevin Durant, just in terms of his body type, his playing style, the aggression, which that specifically I didn't see a whole lot of out of Brandon Ingram, at least his first couple years. He has gotten better with the Pelicans for sure, being an all-star and all that. But just the mindset and stuff, like, to me, Imani is the closest comparison that we've seen. (76-38), Brandon Boyd, 3-point shot, got it to go. Cal Baptist just trying to chip away, but it's been tough. Aggie's been playing good defense, although that's a pretty wide open look. 4:20 left in this contest, folks. And so it looks like I missed Trev going to the bench. I probably should have recognized that, because I'm sure he got a standing ovation as well. We still got Terrell out here on the court. We got Shawn, so 2 seniors still out here. Get that out of here. Will McNair. Somebody who's, even though it's a small sample size, his block percentage was ridiculous this season. 7.7. And second highest on the team was Johnny McCants with, 2.2, 2.3? Huge gap. Which, of course, Johnny played a whole lot more, and that plays a big factor in it. But still, I'm excited to see Will's block numbers this upcoming season. Let's hear what Jans has to say here.
16-0.
There's always something to play for. With the streaks that we got going on, we're certainly aware of those, and they'll end someday, but why not try to extend them as long as we can? And I'm not a believer that, a team that's on a streak needs to lose a game in order to refocus, recenter. I thought the Utah Valley game and how close it was, and we could have easily, should have, would have lost that game, was our reset button. We've gotten better because of it. The last 3 games are probably our best 3 games in a row we've had all year long. So impressed, I wouldn't use the word impressed. Happy. Happy that they've stayed focused and kept working and are playing better now.
Yeah, definitely a big thing with Jans, never letting the team let up, even with them being on the win streak that they are on. Cameron Montagne is saying the reason he didn't get more offers is because coaches were scared he was going pro after Jalen Green went to the G League. Yeah, I'm expecting that to be a pretty common trend moving forward, now that the G League is offering that. And I want to say Green was getting, what was it, $500K a year, something like that. So, shoot. It's hard to say go to college for 1 year. Green definitely the best player out of that class. To me, Cunningham's just my favorite, but as you see Johnny knocking down that 3, Green is different too. I really like Green's game. I saw him, it was a video of him playing one-on-one against Anthony Edwards, from Georgia, who's going to be a top 3 pick in the NBA draft. And he was holding his own. Man. He has a size advantage over Anthony Edwards, but still, Jalen Green is going to be really good as well. Ken Montano says, did you know there was a 4-star... the message just got retracted. Didn't get to see that one. But, yeah, Jalen Green is different too, for sure. There's Trev getting the rest. I was like, I feel like I would have seen that. Cool. Good moment for him there. Great game. And Trev had his parents. Trev had his mom and his, I believe his aunts and uncles some other extended family member at this game. They were sitting, we'll see it in a second here. They were sitting like off in this corner, like a couple rows back. His mom, I think went out to, I think this was the only game she went out to, I think. But as soon as the game was over, we'll see it. He like goes and runs into the stands and hugs her and all that, and his extended family and all that. And his mom was actually in the media room. They gave her the access to it, which is pretty cool. So I got to talk to her after the game. She's in the media room as we were waiting for Jans, and I think we did talk to Trev, yeah, after the game. So that was cool as well. Karen Montaño, do you know there was a 4-star recruit from Santa Fe High School this year named J.B. White, committed to New Mexico class of 2021? I didn't know that. 4-star recruit, wow. Pretty crazy. So you see C.J. Bobbitt, another senior, getting the rest. Looked like Terrell already did earlier as well. Yeah, it's tough. 4-star recruit, wow. You don't see a whole lot of it in this area. That's why it's a lot of, New Mexico's the same. The Lobos, where it's a lot of transfers and stuff like that. But that's always cool whenever you get to see somebody in the area come up and stay home, I guess. Bryce Rewalt checking into the game, another senior, although he is returning this year, I should say. And there's another senior, Shawn Buchanan, a man of the people. You know, he's pumping up the crowd, all that stuff. Cool moment for him. Really glad I got to talk to Shawn, and shout out to him for just being available so much, man. Like, did I write a feature on him? I don't know if it was a feature, but it was at least the what he brings to the table thing, and I did the straight shooter thing. Every time I wanted to talk to Shawn, pretty much, like, same day he gets back to me saying he's down. Same with this straight shooter thing, the same day. You guys saw it was during the live stream. It was within the span of the live stream. I reach out to the SID, he reaches out to Shawn, Shawn gets back to me, and we get it set up. Like, super available, and I always appreciate that. We see Evan, the little start and stop. You know, Tennessee wanted to pull that, but it's going to be Shawn instead. The 3-point shot. Oh, rims out. Will. A block. And we got a foul there. It looks like Boyd fouled the Rewalt. And this is the play here with the Aggies in the bonus. You guys know what I'm talking about if you see this here. It is a 1-and-1 for Rewalt, and here it is. This is one of the better plays of the season here. And look at the bench. The delayed reaction. Even they were surprised too. Bryce was the only one who knew what was going on. We talked about it. Did we talk about it for Straight Shooter? We definitely talked about it during Straight Shooter, the season podcast. Where, yeah, nobody else knew. And he just went up with it. And the players were like, the Cal Baptist players were complaining to the refs. And he was like, it's a live ball, man. I don't know what you want me to tell you. That's a pretty cool moment there. Good hustle by Bryce. Just being aware of what's going on. We see only 3 second chance points for the Lancers. Is pretty crazy. I mean, just in every category, the Aggies dominated this one. As we got the lob attempt to Will, but he'll kick it out to Evan. 3-ball, no good. Big Will, a beast on the glass, so he can't quite come down with it there. We got 60 seconds left in this regular season, folks. 83-48, New Mexico State with the lead. Oh, you got to make that extra pass, man. Wide open. That's just not the ball movement that you would see like with New Mexico State. You see, look at head coach Chris Jans about to lead the Aggies to history. 16-0 in WAC play. First team to ever do it. Pretty insane. Especially when you consider the adversity they faced with all the injuries. Bryce missing that 3 there. You saw a little graphic. It's been a wire-to-wire win. The Aggies led for all 40 minutes of this one as Brandon Boyd misses and a putback dunk. Okay. That's going to do it. Evans should sit on the basketball here. Do I even need to look up my final score prediction for this, or are we good? Because, I mean, I can. I'll look it up right now, but obviously it's going to be way off. We'll check that out. But that's going to do it, folks. 83-50. New Mexico State. Take a look at Trev right here. You're going to see him run past Terrell, I think. Although he might be already off the court by now. But he pretty much ran straight up to his family, which is pretty cool. Yeah, they're not going to show it. It was like a quick sprint, and then he ran right back. So I think he's already back on the court. But great moment for New Mexico State. For sure. My final score prediction for this. 82-74 New Mexico State. As you see, there's Trev running back right there. He just got back onto the court. I don't know if you guys saw that. 82-74 New Mexico State was my prediction. So way off on that. But let's see who we talk to. Let me keep this playing in case they do talk to Jans here. They probably will after the game. I'm sure Adam will do that while I pull this up. I know we talked to Jans and Trev. I think we talked to Yvonne. Jans, Trev, and Yvonne. I actually remembered it this time, guys. For once, I actually remembered it. Speaking of Yvonne, waving the flag. España. Let's hear from Coach Jans here.
They led in this one by as many as 41 on senior night. Coach Jans has joined us. Most complete game all year, not even close.
Maybe, without watching the video, it's certainly in the conversation. We've been playing some good basketball, on the road. I thought our two best back-to-back games was GCU and Bakersfield, and I was very curious if we could come home and do it again, and obviously they did. They had great energy. Our defense has gotten better and better, and they're hanging their hat on defensive rebounding right now, which is good to see.
You thought last Thursday Trev Quinn got his bounce back against Grand Canyon. He showed that off tonight.
Yeah, he looked good. The timing couldn't be better for us and for him, for him to feel closer to what he was prior to the surgery. And I think this will just springboard him going forward heading into WAC Vegas.
Did he feel like this was your third straight elite defensive game as a team?
I don't know. That's a special word. It's definitely very good. We're trending in the right direction. We got a whole week now to get healthy and tweak, here and there and try to get ready, to play where it's sudden death. And it's a whole different feeling. And we've tried to put as much pressure on these kids all year long so when they get there, it doesn't feel foreign to them. And hopefully that'll be the case.
Lastly, Coach, what can you say about these 6 seniors?
Man, they're the core of who we are. Since we've been here, certainly we've had others that have impacted our program, but to have that big a class, including Clayton, obviously with his injury, he'll be coming back, but they're our culture, they're our core, and I couldn't be happier for them to be able to close their careers out in the Pan Am in this fashion.
Coach, congrats. Tonight was fun.
It was fun. Thanks, Adam.
That's Aggie head coach Chris Jans.
There you go, folks. We got Jans in a weird moment, though. I'm going to change that.
Perfect.
There you go. I didn't want to do him like that. All right, let's take a look at the final box score here, folks. Jans is already probably upset with our photographer, Nathan Fish. For those who have been following him on Twitter, he posted this really funny photo of Jans. I don't remember from what game it was, but it was like Jans making like a weird like face like that. And then a couple other fan accounts from New Mexico State actually used that as their profile photo. And Nathan, our photographer, was on the court after, I think it was this game. And Jans walked past him and he's like, "You're the guy who posted that bad picture of me, right?" And he's like, Nathan was like, yeah, sorry. And he's like, "Oh, it's all good." But anyways, that's just me doing a little side story there. But Cal Baptist, 15 points for Milan Aqua, team high. to go along with 4 rebounds, 5 for 16 shooting, 9 points for Brandon Boyd. We saw him get a couple late buckets there in that second half. 1 rebound as well for him on 4 for 9 shooting, and then 6 points and 2 boards for Bull Cool. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, on 2 for 2 shooting. 11 turnovers for Cal Baptist, which actually isn't that bad considering they had, 8 in the first half, so they did a better job with that. Still, 11 is a bit much overall. 15 for 52 shooting for Cal Baptist, that's 28.8%. 6 for 23 from the three-point line, 26.1%. And 14 for 17 from the charity stripe, 82.4%. And that really says it all for New Mexico State's defense. Speaking of New Mexico State, Trevelin Queen leading the Aggies with 19 points. That's a game high, to go along with 4 rebounds, 3 dimes, 2 steals, 1 emphatic dunk, actually 2 emphatic dunks on 7 for 11 shooting. A lot of double-digit scores for the Aggies. You look at Johnny McCants, 13 points and 9 rebounds, 1 shy of a double-double. Ivan Audicoechea, 13 points, 8 rebounds, also in that ballpark. CJ Bobbitt, 10 points, 5 rebounds off the bench. And Terrell Brown, 11 points and 1 board on 3 for 5 shooting. 7 turnovers for the Aggies. It's actually pretty good. 28 for 56 from the floor, which is 50%. 12 for 30 from the three-point line, which is 40%. And 15 for 21 from the free throw line. That's really the only critique to this one so far. It's just that the free throw shooting wasn't the best, 71.4%. But still, though, overall, probably New Mexico State's most complete performance, or at least up there with the likes of like the Mississippi State game, stuff like that. This was a statement win for the Aggies for sure, as they made history. Cameron Montaño, of all the games we watched, who do you think challenged the Aggies the most? I'll probably say UMKC. I think they had the closest point margin from both games, and I think they were 2 games that they were in it for both of those. So I'll probably say that was the closest one. They gave them the best run, but there were a lot of games where the Aggies could have definitely lost, and I guess just the veteran leadership, they found a way to win. Stephen M., great season, Justin. I hope you have a nice, safe vacation with your family when you get back into town. Let us take you for a green chili Sunday. Appreciate you tuning in for this whole series, Stephen. And yeah, I mean, I got to do it at some point. I've kind of been pushing it back, but I got to try it at some point. Before we do get out of here, let's go ahead and take a look at the quotes that we got. We did hear from Jans a little bit just right now, but we got to hear some more. Here's talking about the recent, Jan's talking about the recent defensive performances. He says the players are locked into the reports, they're locked in to practice, and when guys come off the bench, they don't want to see the score go the other direction, because if it does, they're going to hear about it when they get subbed out. I can't imagine that they're going to lose their focus on that end going into these meaningful games. Meaningful games meaning the WAC tournament and then the NCAA tournament possibly. Yeah, they definitely really have been turning it up defensively down the stretch here. Here's Queen talking about the hot start. He said, we just knew we had to come in with that hunger and that aggression early, because we know how Cal Baptist can get sometimes. So it just felt good to dominate. Definitely that early start, I think, really just put this one away. Lancers weren't able to recover. And here's Yvonne talking about the perfect WAC record. He says, at the beginning of the year, we had problems with injuries, and everybody was talking about how we weren't playing at our best level. But we just showed today that it doesn't matter how long it takes us, we always get back to the Aggie way. That's a great end quote for not only this game, but for this whole series, guys. And I think that's all that I have. This upcoming Wednesday, we will have, or that's tomorrow. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Time will be episode number 9 of Straight Shooter. This one is with Shawn Buchanan, the Mississippi Menace. It's going to be 20 minutes and change of really great content, breaking down game film, answering fan questions, and a little bit of extra stuff, as you guys would expect with the series. So definitely, I hope you all check that out. Thursday, I'm still saying we're going to have an Aggie mailbag. I need at least one more question, so that way I can put that together for you guys. But I'm going to try. I'll send out another tweet. I'll put something on our Facebook page again and try to get that. If we get at least 3 questions, there will be an episode. And then hopefully at some point I'll be able to record another one for next week when I am gone. But we'll see about that. We're already kind of struggling to get more questions, so I don't know. That one's kind of 50-50. But I'm going to do my best to have one for you guys this Thursday. And other than that, I think that's about it, guys. I appreciate everybody who tuned in for this, whether you guys have been watching this live or on playback. I'm not just talking about this game. I'm talking about the whole over month-long journey that we've been on. It's been a blast getting to rewatch these games. And I will be doing this again once the season starts up, courtesy of NM Aggie Athletic Archive. Once the game is over, like the night it's played, usually around 24 hours afterwards, NM Aggie Athletic Archive will upload the game, and that same night we'll have the live stream, and I'll actually watch the game where it's still fresh on our minds. It'll only be 24 hours. It would have only been played out 24 hours prior. So hopefully you guys will join me for that during the season. Maybe it'll be a little bit more fun because we'll remember all these plays really well since we would have just watched it the day prior to that. But that'll be something I'll do during the regular season. And other than that, I think that's it for the nightly series that I have this summer. Unless something else comes up, if it does, I'll let you guys know on Twitter at JTheSportsDude, Aggie Alert, Las Cruces Sun News, sports page on Facebook. I might even just make a really short video here on YouTube so that way you guys can see it there. But as of right now, there's no more plans for a nightly live stream. But we still got Straight Shooter, Aggie Mailbag, all that good stuff. So plenty of video content for you guys. And I believe that is going to do it. This has been Justin Martinez, a.k.a. Jay the Sports Dude. I'm out.